Hey, I'm Cameron Mohr. You're here with Ignite the Fire Missions. We got 21 letters here. Guys, how was the show?
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah,
was it epic? Was it epic, like Terrence said?
It was epic.
It was epic. Epicness. Yeah. This question is mainly for John. Was it exciting for you to play a show in your hometown?
This was like a dream come true. Honestly, like, growing up in a town like this, I always had a dream of being in a band, but I never really thought I'd see it come through. So actually seeing it come through, then taking that band to where I grew up, was just awesome.
Yeah. And so to start us off, if I was to explain 21 letters to someone who's never heard of you guys before, how would you explain them as a band and their personality and their music?
You like the meaning of the name?
Yeah. No, like their music and like
style of music.
Yeah.
Style of music is alternative rock. Is the most general sense to classify it. Definitely alternative rock. So.
Yeah. Cool. So you guys are just starting out as a band. Are you planning to release any EPs or albums anytime soon?
Yeah, we have a demo out right now. It's just 2 songs, and we're working towards completing a 5-song EP.
5-song EP.
That should be done near the end of this summer.
Are you planning to release any albums or?
Eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Do you have any sneak peeks of the songs that are going to be on there?
We actually have full versions of the songs that people can listen to on our Facebook page.
Cool.
So they can find it they can just search 21 letters, all space, no hyphens, and it's spelled out 21.
Cool.
So.
And can you give me the meaning behind some of the songs you guys have already written?
Yeah, the first song, Without You, which was the first one that we played tonight, and it's our first single that we came out with, was really just a song about new beginnings and starting over. The reason we decided to write a song about that was because we decided to start over as a band just this last summer, and so 21 Letters was just a new experience for us, and it was a completely new beginning, and we just decided to put that into a song. So.
Cool. Yeah, and could you guys give me a brief testimony of how you all came to know Christ and how you all got into music?
Yeah, for me, I grew up in the church, grew up in a Christian family. I had a personal relationship with Christ at a very young age, so I don't have like a very specific moment that happened. But then, just a short part of testimony, during around my middle school years, I kind of fell away. I started just being very two-faced, going to church and acting a certain way, but then being a completely different person. And then that all just crashed on me and started going through depression. At that time, I started going to youth group at my home church, Faith Lutheran Church. And there, we went on this weekend retreat, and at the retreat, I found myself bawling on my face and just saying, Lord, if I can have anything, I just want to have you. And my life just switched. Yeah. Never was the same. So.
I grew up in the church, and my faith was always something I took very seriously. And by the time I got to the end of high school, I knew that I wanted to go to a Christian college. And so I picked North Central, and from there I met Jonathan and Neil and Ben, and just over the course of a year or two, we started playing and writing music, and so it brings us to where we are now.
I guess I'm a similar story. I grew up in the church and, kind of just have believed in Christ my whole life. Same, went to North Central University and met these guys. Didn't start playing music until I got to college. I just picked up the bass about 3 years ago. I had great teachers and really blessed to be where I am today.
I also grew up with a Christian family who really also had an equal love for music. My dad plays piano, great at it, and I picked up drums when I was 7. I've been singing for a long time, but yeah, definitely grew up with music in the church. Was always my passion, worship music, which I still do at North Central right now, majoring in music performance. So it's a blessing to be with these guys.
Could you tell me some of the inspirations you've had to get into music, and who are some of the inspirations for your music right now?
I guess when I was probably in about 7th grade, I really looked up to the person that was the worship leader in my youth group. and I decided that playing guitar and singing was something that I wanted to work at. And when I first started, I wasn't very good at it, and honestly, it did take a lot of work and a lot of time and practice to be able to get to where I am today. And one of our biggest influences as a band right now is Need to Breathe. And we just love what those guys stand for and the music that they play. And we hope that we can touch people and reach out to people like they have. So
I would say another one for me would be growing up, I didn't exactly play music, wasn't really that into it, but one of the big bands that stuck with me through my pretty much entire life is Switchfoot. And I know Jonathan can attest to that too. They've just been a real big influence on my musical background, I guess, if you will.
I guess for me, my dad would be a huge one. Always pushing to make me a better musician, better person, and giving me different styles to listen to, so I'm not just stuck in a rut sometimes, because as musicians, we all experience that.
Yeah, for me, I don't know, I've had a lot of influences. My favorite guitar player is out of Audio Adrenaline, actually, named Tyler Burkham, who is still just a phenomenal guitar player. And then Switchfoot, Need to Breathe. Those are probably two of my biggest influences.
Did Audio Adrenaline, they started a new group a couple months ago, correct?
They did.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what Gabe was telling me.
Yeah.
They started a new group.
Yep.
And one of the most important things I believe for a Christian man to do is reach the world, and not just by speaking, but with their music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, how will you guys plan to do that?
For us, our goal and our passion is to reach everyone, both the church and the non-churched. So we plan on playing in churches, we plan on playing in bars, we plan on playing in clubs. And for us, like our music, what we say is that we're Christians who write music, so therefore all of our music's going to be from a Christian mindset and a Christian worldview, but a lot of our music may not just be bluntly like, Jesus and all that. But we're not ashamed of the gospel. Our biggest goal is to be able to go into these places, especially like the clubs and the bars, and just by example and by the way we treat each other and the way we treat other people, we want that to open the doors for us to share our faith in Christ.
Yeah, I was reading a biography a couple days ago from a band called As I Lay Dying. I like screamo music. So.
Yeah.
And I was reading it, and I've seen that they toured with Disturbed, and
Yep.
they went to the Ozfest, and I was kind of shook up by that because they say they're a Christian band, and Demon Hunter did the same thing. I was reading their biography. They said one of our main missions is to reach the light into the the broken world.
Yep.
And so that really spoke to me that that's where they're doing that stuff.
Yeah.
It was really shook because Disturbed's a really negative band.
Yep.
So it just shook me, but that really said, because my buddy brought it up to me and he said I know you asked me about this, and this is why they do it.
Mhm.
A really good example.
It's hard too. I mean, because I'm really blessed because all these guys are like great guys. Like when you go into places that like it's not a Christian venue, there's a lot of temptations and there's a lot of things that can come at you, but we hold each other accountable. Like we make sure that that we're keeping to what we know is right.
Yep.
So that's really important to us.
Definitely. This is kind of a follow-up question to the question before, but what kind of effects do you think positive music can have on your mind and negative music?
Definitely, I think the music that you listen to is, media in general, not just music, but what you watch, and the kind of video games that you play or anything. Anything that portrays a negative message, that influences your life, and so, I think that one of the things for us is that we want to make sure that, we might write heartfelt songs that are about pain, but we want to make sure that there's still a ray of hope in that, that people can understand that, I might be going through that same thing that this song is talking about. They can relate to that, but we still want to make sure that in everything that we do, that there's still that, ray of hope that to keep things positive and just to keep positive message all the time.
I've had some experiences with some negative music, and I've had a lot of friends that I talk to about, like my cousin, he listens to a lot of negative music, and I've had him tell me that he just likes, you know, the beating and the stuff like that, you know, the drums, the guitar, and he doesn't go to it for the lyrics. But what I found in my experience is that that's not true, because there's Christian bands like As I Lay Dying, you know, they're one of the hardest bands out there. Most screamo bands are Christians, a lot of rock bands are Christian. And I just kind of found that was true, and I found that it can really affect your relationship with God.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Definitely, stuff like that. And do you have any suggestions to stay in positive music and not in negative music?
Well, I think it's just exactly what you said. Like, if you like the genre of hardcore, if you like the genre of whatever, like generally the Christian music of that genre is now just as good as anything else, if not better. I mean, it's a lot more unique than it was back in the day. So I think, you know, trying to stick that Christian route as a whole, I think is a very good idea.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I try to tell my friends or my cousin, because some of my friends and a lot of my cousins listen to a lot of negative music. And I kind of try to tell them, you know, there's a lot of genres out there that are just the same as what you're listening to, you know, Slipknot, Disturbed, Saliva, all those bands. There's bands like As I Lay Dying, Demon Hunter, and, you know, he listens to those, and a lot of my friends listen to those, but they still go back to Slipknot. I had somebody tell me the other day, I was saying, you know, dude, negative music can have a huge effect on your life, and he was just laughing at me, and, you know, saying, but, you know, Slipknot, Disturbed are my life. And he gave me a sheet of music that he wrote, and just so much negativity. And I said, you know, he was saying he feels like crap and stuff like that in the song. And I told him, you know, you can listen to this and it'll, you know, not necessarily make you feel better, but have a more positive impact on your life. And he just kept saying, you know, but Slipknot is my life. And I said, well, that's going to lead you to bad places. Your life is. And so last, you know, but not least, do you guys have any funny stories from like the road or in the studio?
My biggest embarrassing story was during a sound check once. And it was at a Christian place, and we were sound checking. All of a sudden, I hear Keith Urban over the speakers. I'm like, man, I love Keith Urban. I love this stuff. And like, I'm just like, keep doing my thing, you know, setting up. And I look up, and the sound people are really frustrated at something. I'm like, what are they frustrated about, you know? And Keith Urban's still playing. I'm like, man, I love this guy. And then all of a sudden, I look at my computer, because I was running MIDI, so a lot of my sounds are coming out of my computer. And I realized my iTunes is open playing Keith Urban. So, note to self, I have never had iTunes ever up again playing live.
Really?
Never.
Still have iTunes today?
Still have iTunes today, just never open it when I play music. Like, play music. So, yeah.
I guess another funny story, quick. We were playing last weekend up in North Dakota, and the band that we were opening for is Spoken, which I'm sure you have heard of. But they didn't really know us. We don't really know them either. But as the lead singer was like, "Hope you guys liked," couldn't remember our name, so he just said, "Hope you guys liked 12 something."
Yeah, I completely got it off.
No, okay, thanks. But we gave him a hard time after, but it's all in good fun. You know.
Yeah. What bands have you guys opened for?
Actually, surprisingly, we've headlined a lot of our shows. The biggest band that we've opened for yet is Spoken, though. Pretty soon we're going to be opening for a band in Kansas, Waverly, Highland, though.
Cool. And, what's the meaning of the name 21 Letters?
I got the idea of the name because there are 21 letters in the New Testament, or 21 epistles. Epistles just another name for letters, but that's where it came from. So very simple, just a very simple idea.
Nice. And I wanted to ask, I played the drums. What kind of set do you got?
I actually have a Risen drum kit.
Risen drum kit.
They're based up in Minneapolis. Great custom drum line. They made it for me custom. I told them exactly what I wanted, and they made it for me. And great relationship with them. Great drums. Hope they sound okay up there.
Yeah, they sounded pretty sick.
Good.
They're pretty awesome. So yeah, that's the interview.
All right, thanks, Cameron.
Yeah, thanks for doing it.
Yeah.